Hello, we are live. Welcome. So tonight we are going to be diving into a fabulous free training. There is lots of juicy value in store for you. So get ready, grab a notepad, get a cup of tea or coffee. My cup looks giant. Hold on. Okay, we are going to be doing a fabulous training tonight on the 5 rules for rich. So if you're here, there's a couple of people I can see. Say hello. Faye, you're here. Mwah. Fabulous to have you here. Anna, you're here too. Gorgeous. There's other people hopping on, which is fabulous. So as you join, please say hello. Wait 1 second. I'm going to have to open my window. I'm already too hot before we've even... before we've even begun. So say hello. We are going to be deep diving on some money mindset training tonight because our money mindset is huge, right? So many of us walk around all the time wanting more money. Eve, nice to see you here as well. Money plays a massive role in all of our lives, right? Because money is the thing that facilitates us and allows us to do lots of the things that we want to do. But it's also so easy to get stuck in a real scarcity mindset around money, or simply to carry around baggage that we pick up from society, from parents, from school, from all kinds of things around money mindset. And it massively impacts how we make money, how we receive money, how we spend our money, and how we feel about it on a daily basis. And money is one of those things where it can be really emotionally charged. People can get so stressed out about money. It can make people massively happy, and it can make people massively just upset and miserable and in a horrible place in life, right? And I bet all of you who are listening now, so welcome as you're joining, say hello. I bet that you have either known people in your lives who have had real misery from having money, or maybe you yourself have got some kind of fear around having an abundance of money, but you know that it's not helping you, you know you need to shift it. So tonight in our training, we are going to be diving into the 5 rules of rich, because yes, money, abundance, rich is absolutely a mindset. But we don't want to just feel rich on the inside. We want to create money on the outside, right? We want to make more money in our lives. And as entrepreneurs, which every single one of you are, whether you're just getting started, whether you've got that kind of seed within you and it's waiting to grow, or whether you've had a business for a while and it's like, boom, I'm ready to make more money in this business. I'm ready to have more cash in my pocket. I'm ready to make more impact. I know that the amount of money I make absolutely makes a difference to the impact, the lives I can help, and everything else, right? So we want to have an abundant, fabulous money mindset, but we want that to overflow into action as well, because it's the action that actually brings the money in, right? So we're going to be talking about both in our 5 rules for rich tonight. So there's still lots of people hopping on, so please do say hello. My first question for you before we even get started is, if you were to sum up your money mindset in one word right now, what would it be? Are you currently like, yes, abundance, I'm in massive abundance? Is it that your money mindset feels excited about possibility? Or maybe you're like, eek, money at the moment feels a bit icky. Or maybe it's, oh my God, I've been doing loads of this stuff. I've been working really hard in my business, but I'm still not making the money I really want. Or maybe, and this was me, maybe you're bringing in quite a good amount of money, right? But it just damn well disappears, and you're like, where is this money disappearing to? It like comes into your life and disappears without you really enjoying it. So you can stay in that place of scarcity, even though someone might look at the money coming into your bank account and be like, oh my God, they're amazing. They're making a ton of money in their business. But you have nothing to show for it, and so you feel in scarcity still. And here's the other thing, and this was something that I battled with for a long time, right? And this took a lot of letting go for me. It was the scarcity around, but what about next month? Maybe this month is a great month. Maybe I've made the money I want to this month and it feels great, but I'm scared to spend it because who knows what's going to happen next month. And so you can hold on to money and not spend it and feel in scarcity around it. And so we're going to be talking about all of that, right? So here's what happens to most of us around our money mindset. Money, wealth, Rich is like this huge, beautiful stream that should flow into our lives, right? We should feel abundant, we should feel excited, we should be able to say yes, and it should feel easy. Money should feel as easy as breathing, because we live in an abundant world, right? We live in a world that is ever expanding. The universe every single day is expanding more and more and more and more. So therefore, we live in an abundant world. And if we live in an abundant world, everything around us is in abundance. We need to just find how to unlock it so that it can flow, a bit like a big, beautiful, fabulous river. But what happens is, if you imagine our money mindset, our money consciousness to be this big, beautiful river that runs through us, right? What happens is that we have little mind beavers that get super busy and they think that they're helping us. They're like, oh my goodness, I don't know about this whole like money river happening here. It seems a bit dangerous. We need to stop the flow. And so they go around collecting sticks and stones and rocks. And those sticks and stones and rocks are our money blocks, right? They're the beliefs that we pick up around money that says we're in money scarcity. There's not enough money. Money is dangerous. Money is greedy. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work even harder to earn more money. What's even the point, because you'll lose it? Or bad people have lots of money. All those crazy, crazy things when you unwrap them that we pick up over the years, and they create this huge dam. And what happens is our money consciousness stops flowing. It gets stuck, and it's just a trickle here and a trickle there, and we get in total scarcity around it, and it just builds up and builds up and builds up, and we can stay in that place without even realizing it. All we know is that we're constantly saying things like, I've never got any money, I'm so broke, no, I can't afford it, no, I can't afford it, right? And that's one of the worst things we can do to ourselves, is say we can't afford it. Because every single time you say that sentence in your mind, you are affirming that you cannot afford it. You are affirming and keeping yourself staying in that same exact place. So let's dive into the rules of rich. Are you ready? Let me see. Did you all put your comments around? Oh, we've got lots of people on. Let me say hello to a few people. Becky, you're here. Awesome to see you here. Anne-Marie, fabulous. Susie, awesome. Clara, I've already said Eve. Who else have we got? Fabulous. So a couple of those words that you were saying around how you currently feel about money. We've got excited, we've got hesitant. That's a great one, hesitant. Lots of people I think will resonate with that. Susie, excited for possibilities. Fabulous. Faye says, open the dam. Like, absolutely, hell yes, open the dam. Suzanne's joined you with us too. Fabulous. Okay, awesome. So let's dive into the 5 rules of rich. Number 1. Nurture your relationship with money. If you think about how you currently treat your relationship with money and how you have treated it over all the years of your life, what kind of state would that relationship actually be in? Would it be a loving, abundant, fabulous relationship that was nurtured and you just loved hanging out together, and people would see you and they'd be like, oh my God, like they have the perfect relationship. I wish I had that in my life. Or would it be this like up and down relationship of trouble and toil, and maybe some days it was fabulous and exciting and other days it was horrendous and you hated each other? Or maybe you've got one of those relationships where it's almost like you've fallen out with this person, you've pushed them out of your life, they are not in your life, it is not feeling good, money is not in a relationship with you anymore. So I want you to think about your current relationship with money as if it was a person in your life, and how would that relationship look? How happy would you be with that relationship if money was an actual person and that was a full relationship? I'd love you to put in a few words around that right now in the chat box so I can see where you're at. Because when I had that aha moment, it was an absolute eye-opener for me, because I realized that the relationship I personally had with money was not a healthy relationship. I was mistreating it, I was bullying it, I was backstabbing it probably. Like if money was a relationship in my life, it would have looked ugly. And it was a real moment of like, oh my gosh, I would never treat another relationship in that way. So why am I treating money in this way? Why am I saying these things about money? Why am I believing these things about money? Why am I treating money in this way? And I realized that, well, damn, this is why I'm always struggling with money, because I am not giving it any love, I am not giving it any attention, and I am certainly not nurturing it. I'm just demanding that it should show up, and when it doesn't show up, I'm like having a little tantrum because I can't buy this and I can't buy that, or I'm in scarcity and there's no money and what are we going to do? And I was in a really, really nasty place with it. And I think if we're honest, if lots of us are honest, I'm not alone, or I wasn't alone in that. I've certainly shifted it now. I think that lots and lots and lots of us are walking around having a horrible relationship with money simply because we haven't stopped and looked, simply because we haven't thought about it. So I want you to think now about your relationship with money. I want you to think about what your relationship with money looks like now. And I want you to think about what your relationship with money has been in the past. And it's probably been a journey, right? Like any relationship, relationships grow, they have ebbs, they have flows, they have great days, they have terrible days. They have times when they really need love and attention, and we need to really nurture them and look after them. And then they have times when they're just fabulous and everything's good. And just in that same way, money plays that role in our lives, right? We have times in our life where maybe you get a raise or something happens and you feel like, yes, I've got loads of money in my life, and it feels really good and you feel really abundant. And then there's times when suddenly bill after bill after bill comes in. Maybe you've had no new clients, maybe you've left your career to start your business, and it's like, oh, holy shit, like where's the money, what's happening? And you've got into real scarcity around it, and it's felt difficult, and the relationship hasn't felt good at all. But what happens is when we get into that negative space, what most of us do in that space, and again, tell me, like, do you do this? Do you recognize this? When you get into that negative space, it's easy to push it away. Here's what I did. When I got in the negative space, I did the whole ostrich. I stuck my head in the sand and I tried to ignore it. And the bills added up and added up and added up, and I kept my head firmly in the sand, just really feeling really frustrated about it, pretty scared, because I didn't even dare look, because I was kind of like, oh my God, like there's no money, but I don't know what to do about it. So I'm just going to look the opposite way and hope things figure themselves out. Right, let me have a quick look at what's going on here. We've got a few hellos. Somebody who's always been there if you needed them, but ignored most of the time in terms of your relationship. Yeah. Happy with satisfied, embarrassed to want more when some people have none. Oh, that's a huge one, isn't it? So that's one that so many of us can get into it as well, right? It's kind of like the next space is almost like when you're okay with money and you want more, you absolutely want more, right? We can tell ourselves that, oh my God, it's wrong to want more because all of these people don't have money. Actually, I have a house over my head. I have this. I can treat myself when I want to. There's all these people in the world who do not have money. It's wrong of me to want more. And that's absolutely some of the big boulders that go in our money consciousness flow, right? But if we believe that we live in an abundant world, in an abundant universe, which we do, there is more than enough money to go around. So us having more does not limit someone else. In fact, us having more helps us help other people even more, right? And we know that logically, but we need to shift that internally. But so true though. Don't like to be seen as a person with money? Yes, because of all those limiting beliefs around it. Previously lived in fear around not having enough, shifting into faith and belief. I love it. And it's like an onion, right? Goddamn onion. Our money mindset really is like an onion. We can think we've done it. We've taken off the first layer. We're like, oh, good. And then we shift. Something shifts in our life. Maybe we hit a new income goal. Maybe we leave our job and we go into a career full time or whatever. And it's like suddenly there's a whole new layer of money consciousness to delve into and change. So it's a beautiful, never ending journey that we get to enjoy and grow into. So I love that. I think you've always been taught that saving and sparing money is something that brings joy, not earning or spending. Absolutely, because actually it's been a thing. Certainly my parents absolutely taught me to save money. It's so important to save money. But at the same time, I would watch them saying no to the things that they wanted because they were so busy saving money. And that in me, that gave me this real like, oh, I'm just going to live for now. I'm going to spend all that money, which was great. But at the same time, I was putting my head in the sand and ignoring the debt I was getting into because I was spending all the money. So who's with me there? Who's been there? So going back to our number one rule when it comes to the 5 rules of rich is nurture your relationship with money. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down 3 words, like type them in the chat bar here. 3 words that describe your relationship with money. It could be 1 in the past, 1 now, and 1 how you want to be. So it could be, okay, in the past, my relationship with money has been X. Right now, my relationship with money is Y, and in the future I want to have a relationship with money which is X, Y, Z. So tell me what it is. So what was it in the past? You obviously don't need to put all the words in, just put the past word, the current word, and the future word. And I'd love to see that. So type those in. So it's, you know, one of the things that's super important when we're listening to trainings, when you actually take part in it, when you actually type things down, when you write things down, it helps shift them in our brain in a different ways because we start using different neural pathways. So please do type it down. Let's have a look. What do you all got? Lynn, you're here too. Charlotte, hello Charlotte Whittle, you're here too. I haven't seen you for ages. So Faye, I'm afraid of debt, never had debt. Isn't that an interesting one? Sometimes it's that thing that we've never experienced it, so we imagine, we build it up as something bigger. Kimberly, hi Kimberly, you've been in a drought concerning money and I should be having some more next week, but all I can think about is what you need to buy. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. I'm coming to that one. I'm coming to that one later on, so stay with me because that's a huge one, right? How many times, who was with me on this? Give me a little love heart. When you've got no money, how desperate are you to spend money? It's like this thing that eats away at you, right? When you know you've got no money in the bank, you're like, I've got to be careful. Money's in scarcity. I don't have enough money coming in right now. I do this every time. I then get this massive feeling like, oh my God, I need to spend money. And oh, can you hear a little ice cream by outside? I get into this absolute, like, I need to spend money. And it's almost like I could chew my nails. I just want to spend money. And it's that kind of, it's that loop, right? Because then we go and we spend a ton of money and then we beat ourselves up and we feel guilty and we feel even more stressed. And it's like, oh my God, why did I do that? And so money can bring up such strong emotions, can't it? It can bring so many emotions up, and even when it brings up those emotions, instead of nurturing it and taking care of it like we would other emotions when they come up, we try and just push it aside, or we get angry, or we get frustrated, or we just go into scarcity. So have we got any of those words that have come through? So past, fear, awesome. Current, comfortable. Future, abundant, love it. Sabrina, amazing, never thought about it, but so true. Emotional awareness and abundance can be compared and associated with money. Absolutely. In the past, desperate, now good friends. Future, BFFs, I love it. Ambivalence, flows fairly easily. Confident and abundant, yes. Lack of knowledge in the past, abused credit cards and loans, yes. And see, I carried around, I got into a lot. I got into a lot of debt in my early 20s because I went a bit crazy. And I took out loans and loans and loans and credit cards and credit cards and credit cards and more credit cards to cover the loans and more loans to cover the credit cards. Who's been there, right? And I got myself in a total mess with it. And then what happened is from that time, even once I sorted that out and I started shifting it, I paid off the debt and I, started working on my money mindset because I came aware of it. What I didn't realize is that I was carrying around an absolute fear of money because I was scared. I was scared because I'd mistreated money and I was thinking that loans were a dangerous thing and credit cards were a dangerous thing and there were things to be avoided at all costs. And many times there were things that I really wanted that would have helped me actually fast track my business if I'd have just said yes to them, but I was too scared to get into debt again because of my experience in the past. Whereas actually credit cards, loans, all of those things are fabulous things when we have the knowledge of how to use them properly and we don't stick our heads in the sand. And actually they're a brilliant way of creating more abundance in our lives and helping us to change our money story and our money relationship. Scarcity, yes. Okay, there's fabulous things coming through. This is awesome. Okay, so knowing that our relationship with money is something that needs to be nurtured. It is actually a real relationship, right? How are you going to nurture it? Because you've all said where you are now and where you want to be with money. So there's a shift, right? So what are you going to do? What are you going to think? What are you going to believe? What are you going to take action on to really nurture that relationship? Is it that actually you're just going to spend time getting to know it? Maybe you're going to explore some of those money beliefs that are going on in your subconscious mind. And instead of pushing them away, you're going to look at them. You're going to take a real look at them. You're going to get comfortable. Maybe you kind of go in, you know what, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to look at my finances without that fear and actually be like, you know what, look at all this abundance of money that I've made, and look how easily it actually comes into my life. So maybe it's just about giving it a bit of time, a bit of love, a bit of nurture. Maybe it's reframing it. Maybe it's having conversations. Maybe it's, instead of, you know, pushing it away with that constant I can't afford it, I can't afford it. Because here's the thing with I can't afford it. People use I can't afford it as an excuse, right? How many times has someone asked you if you want to do something, or asked you if you want to buy something, and you've gone, oh, I just can't afford it right now. And actually, if you wanted it, you could have afforded it, right? But you haven't afforded it because actually you just didn't want it. It wasn't a priority. But instead of saying it's not a priority, you were like, I can't afford it. And so instead you're affirming again that money is in scarcity. So that's number one. What I want you to do is take one action, one way that you can nurture money in your life moving forward this week. And I want you to write that down now. One action, one way you can do it today, right now. Feel free to write it in the comments or pop it in your notes. So let's move on to number 2, the second rule of rich. Okay, you ready? Super simple. You're going to be like, what? Really? Are you kidding me? A match. It's pretty cool. The second rule of rich is track the money that you're bringing in. And you're like, oh my God, Claire, that's so ridiculous. Obviously, I know what money I'm bringing in, but I mean, really track it, really pay attention to it. This was one of the big things that shifted me when, like, when was it? Like about 2 years ago, however long it was, when I had my first kind of 5K month and started hitting those 5K months in my business. One of the big things that changed is that I was tracking my money. I started tracking the money that came into my business, not just in terms of like on spreadsheets for tax purposes, but I actually had a diary where I physically wrote in every single piece of money that came into my life. And it was like a £10 thing, a £5 thing, even money that I was gifted or like showed up out of nowhere. All of it, I wrote down every single thing, and I would tot it up at the end of each day, at the end of each week, and at the end of each month. And just noticing, like, where focus goes, energy flows. How many times have you heard that saying? And it is absolutely 100% true. Where we put our focus makes a huge difference to the opportunities that we see, right? Because it's how our brain works. When we're thinking about something, it shows us more of that something. So when you bought that red car and you're like, no one else has got a car like this, and then you put the deposit down on it and suddenly everyone's driving the damn car and you're like, what's happened? It's because suddenly your reticular activating system in your brain has started noticing that thing because you focused on it. The same goes for money. As soon as you start focusing on it, your reticular activating system is going to hone in on it. It's going to be like, aha, money. She wants more money. We are tracking the money coming in, and it's going to start paying more attention to it. And therefore, opportunities that are going to come up, you're going to notice them. So you're going to be able to grab them much more easily. And as a result, you're going to start making more money, right? You'll have, when your focus is in that place, you also start having more of those inspired ideas. So, you know, instead of it being like, oh my God, like I've not got enough money this month, what am I going to do? How do I change this? I'm stuck. Why? The worst question of all is, why isn't more money coming in? Why don't I have any money? Why am I struggling with money? Because that's focusing you on the lack, right? It's the worst kind of questions you can be asking yourself. Instead, it's okay. Like, this is the money that's coming in, and how do I want to bring even more in? Like, oh, look, I've hit that mark. If this month I reckon I could hit this much, what do I want to do to create this? Oh my God, I could do this, I could do this, I could do that. And the ideas flow, and you're in that inspired state where you have loads of ideas, where energetically you're buzzing, right? And that energy transpires into the universe. It makes things happen. So absolutely 100% start tracking every single piece of money that comes into your life. Who does that already? Who tracks all the money that they have coming in specifically, and you either write it down like in a little booklet or something, or you track it on your computer? Who does that? Tell me. Give me like a yes, 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 or a no, 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 or I should be, but I haven't been. Hi, Lucy. Lucy's here too. Tell me. Oh my God, I'm like boiling. Woo. Tell me. I want to know. Who is currently tracking the money that comes into their life? And can you understand? Does that make sense? It totally makes sense, because where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. It makes a massive difference. So that is rule number 2. It's super simple, but it is absolutely massively, massively powerful. Brilliant. So a few people saying only for tax. No, on it now. I like it. So, you know, it doesn't take very long. It takes a minute, 2 minutes and less. You get to spend like hours on it because so much money is coming in, and that's not a bad thing, is it? So if there's one action that you take from this training tonight, go and start tracking the money coming in, write it down, give it that focus, so that that's where your reticular activating system sends you, so you specifically start making more money. It's a big one. So ritual number 3, are you ready? Who's crying? Who's giving me crying pictures? Oh, Anna, maybe Anna, track the expenses only. That's where I'm coming to next. So number 3, in the same way that you track all that money coming in, it's obviously also important to track the money going out. But I did not used to do this, right? And I even once I started tracking the money I was making, I avoided at all costs tracking the money going out, because when money was going out, I'd start panicking about it. I'd be like, oh my God, I've got that membership that's like £50, and oh my God, I've got that payment over there. Oh my God, I've got that bill to pay. And I would look at the money I was making. I'd be like, oh shit, like this is good, but I've got all this money coming out. And so I'd still go in scarcity. So instead of being in abundance, because I was like, yes, this money's coming in, this is coming in, I would then focus on all the money going out, and I'd get in total scarcity. And that's when, again, I would put my head in the sand, right? I do that whole, I'm not looking, let me quick, I'll pay them. But, or even worse, I'll put them off till the last minute, because somehow that'll make a difference. I don't quite know how. And that's one of the worst things that we can do. Absolutely the worst things that we can do. So instead, we need to switch into gratitude. And this is number 3. Be in gratitude for all the money that you spend, because it makes a big, big difference. Because instead of that electric bill coming in and being like, oh my God, I've got an electric bill for like £300, what are we doing? Turn off the lights. Instead of being in that place of scarcity around it, it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I get to pay for the amazing electricity that lights up my life, quite literally, that gives me gorgeous hot baths, that, you know, makes my lovely cups of coffee and all the rest of it. And so we can just be in massive gratitude around it. And it totally, when we're in gratitude, gratitude trumps all the other emotion. There's been loads and loads of studies around this, how when we get into gratitude, we're not in another emotion. And so when we can get into gratitude with spending money and it feels good, it out trumps that scarcity straight away. And here's the important thing to remember about money, right? We were never meant to just make money and hoard it. Like, that's not how it works. Money is energy, and literally there needs to be that energetic exchange of it all the time. Money should be like breathing in. Money comes in and money goes out. And it's fine, because in the next breath, money comes in and money goes out, right? It needs to be ever changing, ever flowing. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's when we can feel in true abundance with it. And that might sound a little bit strange, because you're like, oh, well, hang on a minute. We're supposed to save, surely. What about pensions? What about all those kind of things? Yes, because breathing out is also giving money that home, right? It's also, breathing out can be putting money into a savings fund. Breathing out can be investing in a property. Breathing out can be putting money into a pension. Okay, so that money's still moving, it's still going somewhere, it's got a home, and that's really important. So be in gratitude for all the money that you spend. And an important little habit here, because the universe literally reflects what we put out there, right? If you're currently avoiding paying bills to the last minute, and you've got clients who avoid paying you to the last minute, guess what? Guess where that's coming from? It's coming from the fact that you're putting it off. It might sound crazy, it might sound a little bit like woo-woo, but I promise you, if you start looking after money, being in massive gratitude for how you spend it, and paying all those bills on time in gratitude, it's going to absolutely shift the ebb and flow of money into your life. So the third one, again, really simple, but a little bit harder to do, especially if you're looking at your bank balance and you're like, oh my God, I've got like £6.50 left in my account and I've got a bill here for £5. How the heck am I going to do this? You're going to want to straight away like shift into scarcity, right? And that's obviously a bit of an extreme an extreme example. But you're totally with me, right? It's easy to go, yes, I'll be in gratitude for the money that I spend. It's a lot harder when you really go into that scarcity around it. And that's exactly the time to practice it. So next time you catch yourself paying a big bill, worrying about the amount of money in your account, just trust, like take that moment to be like, no, like I am in massive abundance. I live in an abundant universe. Money comes in, money goes out. I trust that process like takes care of me. I am in massive abundance. I'm in massive gratitude for all this money that I get to spend, because actually it meant that I made it. Whew. Right, let me see what comments going on. Oh, this is hard. Money going out. Claire, nice to see you. Whole body in the sand. Yes. So give me a little thumbs up. Who else is very good at hiding away from the money that you spend rather than being in gratitude for it? Give me a little thumbs up if that's you. You will not be alone. It's lots of us, right? So let's move on to, oh my gosh, I'm on 13% power. That's not good. I'm gonna have to get through the rest ones quicker because I've only got 13% battery left. Okay, so number 4 is connect with your wealth blueprint. And you might be thinking, what the freaking heck is she talking about? This is what I mean when I mean your wealth blueprint, right? Your wealth blueprint is all the ways you want to create money. It's all the ways that you really feel called and pulled to make money in your life. So one of the things that I've got a couple of rental properties, right? Because one of the things that I love having houses. And that might sound really silly, but it's part of my wealth blueprint. It's part of one of the things that I really love to have. It fills me up. It makes me feel excited. It makes me feel really abundant. It makes me feel wealthy. It makes me feel rich. So we all have this wealth blueprint in terms of all the ways that we feel great making money and then what we do with that money, right? And so I want you to start thinking about, well, what are the streams? How are you welcoming money into your life? Is it that, I'll use myself as an example, right, because it's easy. So obviously there's the coaching that I do. Within that, there's different streams. There's one-to-one streams, there's masterminds, there's group programs, there's all kinds of things. So there's different streams within that. There's different streams within the properties that I have, and so money comes in from those streams. There's different streams in terms of extra trainings that I might do for schools or whatever it might be. So again, another stream. There are multiple streams in terms of how we want. You might not be doing it now, so you might be like, oh, like I haven't got this happening right now. But I want you to think, if you're in total abundance, if you're feeling really rich, if it was just all feeling fabulous and free and flowing, give me 1 second. No, we're good. So if you're just feeling fabulous and free and abundant, what are all of those ways that you would love to have money coming into your life? Is it that you'd love to have properties? Is it that you'd love to have a couple of businesses? Is it that you'd love to have like an MLM business? Is it that you'd love to win the lottery? Is it that you'd love to be receiving money in some other way? So just think about it. And I'd love you to, like, if something specific is coming to you right now, I'd love you to type that in, because it might well be one that other people haven't thought about, right? So how would you love money to be coming into your life when you think about your future, when you think about all those different streams, all the different ways that we can create money, that we can bring it into our lives? What are those ways? And as the money comes into your life, what are all those things that you want to do with it, that you'll feel excited to do for it? So maybe you're like, you know what, money will come in all these different ways and that will feel fabulous, and I'm going to be traveling around the world, and I'm going to be buying properties, and I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be doing whatever. I've still got a tag on me. So I literally put this top on and look. Oh my God, I don't think I can pull it off. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to sort that out in a minute. So I was like, orange, bright, money, it works, and clearly I'm not even pulled the bloody tag off. So what words have we got? We've got all of those. I have a property which is empty right now, more workshops, one-to-one clients, holidays, retreats. That's one that I absolutely want to be bringing in next. Rent from properties, fabulous. What are all those ways that your rich blueprint happens? Because our money mindset is one thing, right? We need to get into that place where we're feeling abundant, we're in gratitude, we've like smashed through some of those blocks and beliefs that we carry around that like clog up that like money consciousness river that flows into our life. But we also need to be thinking, well, what are the things that I want? So, for example, one of my clients really recently was like, you know what, I would love to have like a holiday property that I let out, that I go and spend some time in during the year, and then the rest of the year I let it out and I make money from that. And she was like, but there's no way I can make that happen. Like, I've got no money in the bank, I've not got this, I've not got that. And so it was just like, well, what's the first step? What would the first step of that be? And she was like, well, the first step would be thinking about where it would be, like where would I want that property? So she went and started looking at little seaside towns and all the rest of it. And so she was like, oh my God, like I found this place and I found this property that would be absolutely amazing, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to get a loan. Anyway, long story short, she has now purchased that property near the beach. It was ridiculous. It needs loads of work and everything, but she's taken one step further towards that dream, right? And unless we get clear and we know what it is, we can't start moving towards it. So we must move towards those dreams, know what it is, get clear on it, feel in abundance, do some brainstorming, have a chat with your partner, and like dare to dream big with this stuff, because it's only when you do that that it can then lead to action and it can lead to results. Fabulous, lots of things coming in. What are you all saying? Retreats, workshops, spending on holidays. You can better keep track of the money out with that tag. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I want you to just start thinking, and at this point you don't need to nail anything down, just feel in abundance with it and start thinking about, well, what might my wealth blueprint look like? How would it feel amazing? What would feel fabulous for me? Okay, number 5. So 5 rules of living rich. Number 5 is live in the space of rich. And I mentioned this earlier, and this is huge. When we are in a lack, when we're in scarcity, it can drive us to make us want to spend more money. And then we get stuck in this cycle of more scarcity, more scarcity, more scarcity. But at the same time, we forget and we ignore all the things that we could just feel more rich doing today that actually wouldn't cost us that much money. Because really, rich is a mindset, right? You get to choose whether you feel rich, whether you feel abundant, whether you feel in flow with money or not. You get to choose whether you have money in your pocket and you go buy an ice cream and it feels fabulous and it's a little celebration. It's like, yes, of course, I can do this, I'm rich. And it just feels fabulous. Or you go, oh my God, like, no, I can't because I shouldn't be doing. And this is where things get interesting. Because have you noticed how when we deny ourselves something in our lives, we want it even more? Like, dieting is a perfect example. How many times have you gone like, right, I need to lose weight, I'm going to go on the diet, I'm not going to eat these things, or I'm not going to drink wine anymore in the evening, or I'm not going to do whatever, and you're like, right, I'm changing, this is happening. And then because you've denied yourself, oh my God, you feel that pull and you feel yourself all the time like, no, I'm not, I don't really want it. And you want it more and more and more, and it builds up more and more and more. And then if you're anything like me, it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and then you just like, you go crazy on it, right? And you go out, and this is what I used to do. I used to go out then and have this massive spending spree and literally spend £400 or £500. I'd have all these bags, I'd feel fabulous, I'd get home and I'd go into total panic and I'd be like, oh my God, what have I done? I feel so guilty, I didn't have that money, I don't need those things, but I don't actually want to take them back. And oh my God, I would get in massive scarcity. And it'd be like binge eating, you know, how people go on that diet, they tell themselves they can't do it. They push it away, they push it away, they push it away. And then they hit that point where they can't say no anymore. And they go and like eat everything. They go crazy, they go mad. And it's a horrible, horrible cycle to be in. But there's good news. When you feel in abundance with money, when you feel rich, actually that craving, it disappears. It's not there anymore. Though some of you might know, some of you who know me really well, and this is a little bit funny, but it's totally true. So those of you who know me well probably already know that I have cake for breakfast every morning. I have cake for breakfast. I eat cake for breakfast. Fabulous, proper, chocolatey, delicious, full-on cake. And the reason for it is that when I start my day with that, the craving's gone. Like, I feel so satisfied. I so enjoy every bite of that. There's no scarcity around it. It's just total abundance, total cake abundance, right? And we can do the same thing with money. But we can trick ourselves. We can do it with small things. So, for example, we can say, you know what? I'm going to go and have that manicure. I'm going to go have that manicure because that will help me feel rich. It'll help me feel abundant. Shit, I'm on 7% battery. It will help me feel rich. It will help me feel abundant. And we can go and we can really enjoy that. And it shifts our mindset. It puts all those little triggers in place. So it means that we start feeling in gratitude for the money we've had. We start noticing that we feel rich and we've got this money coming in. We feel like we can say yes to ourselves. We probably won't waste the little bits of money that we might have been doing otherwise. And because we're in that good space, because we're feeling really good, we're in an inspired space. And when we're in inspired space, we take action. We come up with program ideas. We sell courses. We talk to people. We're open. We're energetic. We feel fully alive, right? Isn't that what it's about at the end of the day? When we say yes to the things that we want, even in a small way, we feel abundant and therefore we feel alive. And when we feel alive, that's when the magic happens, right? That's when things suddenly turn up. That's when people say yes. It's when like someone that you've never seen before like gets in touch and says, oh my God, I need your one-to-one most expensive package. It's when an unexpected check comes in the mail. It's when all those things happen and it's like, oh my God. And that's when we remember that life is happening for us, that life is working for us, that this world really is abundant, and we'll be in that space for a bit. It'll be brilliant. But if you're not careful, you'll drop the ball, you'll go back in scarcity, you'll do whatever, you'll go back into the whole scarcity poor mindset. And before you know it, you'll be saying, oh, but I just can't afford it. What we focus on, what we tell ourselves, what beliefs we've got lying under the surface make a big, big impact on how we feel on a day-to-day basis, and therefore on the action we take on a day-to-day basis, and therefore the results that we get on a day-to-day basis. So we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our children, we owe it to our partners, we owe it to the world, in fact, to learn to really embrace being rich. We owe it to ourselves to live in abundance. We owe it to ourselves to love money. I love money and money loves me. Like, I make money with ease. The more joy I have, the more fun I have, the more money I make every single day. They're the kind of beliefs, they're the kind of things we need to be telling ourselves, because they make the difference. They bring the results in. They change how we feel. It's literally, sometimes it's that easy. And that can sound crazy, it can sound ridiculous, but it's absolutely true. So which one of the 5 money rules do you think will make the biggest impact for you if you change it? So let me go through them again just really quickly. So we've got 1, nurture the relationship you have with money. Like, treat it as a relationship. If that was another person that you were in a relationship with, how would you nurture it? How would you create a really loving, abundant relationship that felt fabulous? So that's 1. Number 2 was track all the money that you're making. Track it. Put that focus on there. Where focus goes, energy flows. Number 3, be in absolute gratitude for all the money that you spend, remembering what it creates, remembering what it gives you, and making sure that you're paying your bills on time and all that kind of thing, and you're not blocking the energy flow in terms of that. Number 4, connect with your wealth blueprint. Really start to think about how all the ways you want to create more money in your lives, how all the ways you're going to create that wealth that's going to feel fabulous for yourself. And then finally, Number 5, live in the space of rich. Start saying yes to some of the things that you want, even if they're small, rather than pushing them away, getting into scarcity, and then having that craving and going mad potentially. Or alternatively, just staying in that space of lack and scarcity and not enough, where no new ideas happen, where where you just stay in that space of not enoughness and you feel stuck and it's like not fair and the world's not fair and why is this working for them and not me, and all those other things that really make life bloody well frustrating and not much fun at all. Right, I'm going to read your comment in a second. Before I do, what I want to tell you all about, because it's starting this week and some of you are in there, which is fabulous, is Money and Abundance is starting this week. It's a course, it's 30-day Money and Abundance course, and I'm doing it for a crazy price, right? Because this program is worth £499. But what I realized was, actually, the people who need this most aren't going to spend £499 because they're going to be in scarcity about the money. And I was like, you know what? I really want to change that. I want to make this accessible to everyone. So I'm literally doing it at peanuts, which is £49. £49 for a whole month of trainings and coaching and support and journaling and oh my god, it's going to be full. It's going to be amazing. There's already loads of fabulous women in there. It's going to be brilliant. And this was actually one of those ideas that I came up with when I was feeling in abundance, when I was like, money flows, money's everywhere, there's always more than enough money. If I truly believe that, I'm more than happy to put this course out at just a crazy low price so that people can really start making this shift, because I know how painful it can be and I know how it can absolutely block the results from coming on. Because even when you just think about how much you charge for the services that you do, right, that can come from a place of scarcity or it can come from a place of abundance. And when you're in abundance, it can be like, yes, like I can charge £5,000, I can charge £10,000, but also on other days I want to just give people this, and so, you know, it's really important, versus, oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna have to keep spending this because no one might say yes, and it can be horrible and it can really limit the business that you've got. So money mindset is huge. So in Money in Abundance 30 days, it starts this week. This is the last chance. If you're not in there yet and you're like, this is interesting, the link is actually above. I pop the link in there above. So come and join us. It's just £49. It's like, it's nothing, is it? And we are going to transform your relationship with money over the 4 weeks. There's training every week. There's a group coaching call every week. There's Q&As. There's meditations. There's guided visualizations. There's journaling questions. And there's a fabulous community where you can all support each other in shifting your money mindset. But also, because you probably know me well enough by now to know I'm absolutely about mindset. Like, mindset is 80-90% of the game, but it's useless without actually taking action. We've absolutely 100% got to be taking action at the end of the day too. And so it's also about really putting those actions into place, right? It's really about making that commitment. It's about deciding that, you know what, I deserve this. I am rich, I'm abundant, and I deserve all the money in my life. So it's really about making that shift, feeling fabulous, and starting to earn the money that you want to this summer now, right? I cannot tell you how many people I've heard say, oh, well, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful over summer because I haven't got as many clients, haven't got as many people saying yes, you know, like scarcity around money. And it's just not true, right? You create your reality. And so we want to shift you into a place of absolute abundance. Money is flowing to you. It's flowing to you now. It does not need to take a long time. So I would love you, love you to all everyone, come and join me. The link is above. There's a bit of information about it, so you can go and read about that if you want. You can message me if you've got any questions and you're like, oh, I don't know, then feel free to message me. Even if you can't make all the trainings, right, they're going to be recorded. Even if you just made one of those trainings in Money in Abundance, you'd be getting your worth. Right, so let me see what you've been popping here at the end. Oops. Oh no, I've frozen. My little thing's frozen. I wonder if it's because I'm only on 4% battery. Hang on. Come on, computer. I can't read them. Oh, it's doing it. Brilliant. being gratitude for 7% battery. I know, absolutely. I'm super rich and abundant. I love all the money I receive and the money I spend. Absolutely. Hi, Laura, you joined in. So Faye, yours was to track money. Brilliant. The relationship and money blueprint was yours. Oh, Nick, you're here too. Nice to see you, Nick. 5, so the last one, like living in the space of rich. Absolutely fabulous. So here's what I'd like you to go and do. I'd like you to take something from this training, because again, we can watch trainings, happens all the time. There's trainings everywhere, especially like these smaller kind of free trainings that we do, right? But I want you to think, what are you going to commit to? What are you going to commit to doing today, if possible, but if not this week, that's going to help shift your money mindset, even if it's just 1%, because it's always that incremental growth. No, it's not incremental growth. What's the word? 1% over time makes a huge difference. Can't remember the word, so we'll go with that. 1% over time makes a huge difference. So what is the one thing that you're going to change, that you're going to work on, that you're going to do, that you're going to believe, you're going to shift, whatever it is? And feel free to type it in, because I'd love to hear it. I might not be able to read it now because I'm about to go, but type it in. I would love to read it. What's the one thing you're going to commit to changing right now, so that you do start getting different results? Because here's one of the things that frustrates the hell out of me, really annoys me. You always, like, you know, not just in mine, but, you know, people everywhere, they get all excited. They're like, yes, hell yes, I'm in, I'm doing this, I'm making a difference. And then they get off the training, or they leave the group, or whatever it is ends, and they go back to just taking the same action that they always did. They forget all the fabulous things. They stop doing it, and then they wonder why things haven't changed. We owe it to ourselves to create an amazing, spectacular, fabulous life. Like, this is our one chance, and this is our chance to take it all. It's our chance to live fully. It's our chance to do it all. But it's not going to happen if we don't take action on it, if we don't actually commit to those things that we learn, that we do. We need to take action on it. So I would love you to write in the comments that action that you're going to take from today, because I know that you are all fabulous, kick-ass, wild, crazy, sexy, wonderful women, and I know that you are creating fabulous, amazing lives. I know that you're out there, you're making an impact. I know that the work that you do, and this is the biggest thing, right? Because every single one of you, you live from your heart. You're heart-driven women. Like, I know that inside out. Like, the names you'll see on here, all of you care so deeply, and all of you deserve to be earning so much more money than you currently are. Like, even if maybe you're already on like your 100 grand a year, maybe not, but it could be so much more, right? There is no limit. The amount of money you can be making is limitless, and you are just as able to do it as the person next door. And that's been one of my biggest learnings, especially this year in my business, really shifting my business up, really making some big differences in the money that I've been making in my business, has made me realize that this is available for every single one of us. Because I'm just like, I think of myself as like the girl next door. I'm just like the girl next door. I'm so normal. I'm just like you. And so if I can do it, and if we can make those leaps, what else are we capable of doing? Thank you, every single one of you, for joining me here tonight. If you've popped any other comments in, I will go back and look at them later. I'm on 1% battery, so I'm about to go. Mwah, sending you lots and lots of love. Go and be fabulous, take some action, and come and join me in Money and Abundance. It starts this week. This is your last chance to get in. Come and join me. Message me if you've got any questions, and sending lots of love. Take care. Bye. You can't stop it. I can't stop the video. I think it's because I'm about to pause. There we go. Bye.